So, thank you so much for helping to record. So, this is ACI 5. We are on chapter 6. This is class 7. We are on, today is 2nd of October 2025. So, welcome back. So happy to see you here. And let's set our motivation. Because we want to plant big fat karma. Chapter 4. Right? So, I invite you to sit up straight, close your eyes. Just be aware of your breath. I'm aware of my breath. I'm aware of my breath. Just be aware of your breath until you hear from me again. Now, bring to mind your holy guide and see them appearing before you just by way of you thinking of them. They are gazing at you with love, smiling at you with their holy great compassion, and their wisdom radiates from them, a warm glowing glow, encompassing you in its light. And then we hear them say, think of somebody who is hurting in some way. Think about how much you would like to help them, the worldly way that you have tried or you might try. Recognize how those worldly ways fall short. How wonderful it will be. You can also help them in some deep and ultimate way, a way through which they can stop their distress forever, grow that wish, grow into an intention, and into a determination when you're ready. Now we bring our mind back to our holy guide. They know what we need to know, what we need to learn, and what we need to do. And so we ask them, please, please help me. Please show me that. They are so happy that we have asked, and of course, they agree. And our gratitude arises. We want to offer them something exquisite. And we think of the perfect world that they teach us to create. And we imagine we can hold in our hands and we offer to them, following it with our promise to practice what they teach us in the form of the refuge prayer. Here is the great earth, filled with the smell of the incense, covered with a blanket of flowers, the great mountain, four lands, wearing a jewel of the sun and the moon. In my mind, I make them the paradise of the Buddha, and I offer to you. By this deed, may every living being experience the pure Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamniyatayami. go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the highest community. Through the merit I do in giving and the rest, may I reach Buddhahood for the sake of all beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the highest community. Through the merit I do in giving and the rest, may I reach Buddhahood for the sake of all beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the highest community. Through the merit I do in giving and the rest, I will become a Buddha for the sake of all beings. And may it be so. Okay. So today we are learning chapter 6, Karma and Emptiness. And I hope my screen look okay. You can, I heard from my son. I hope Jaslyn, your screen is okay. Let me know if that is okay. They say you can adjust through the top. No, sorry, not top, the bottom right. There is this ratio that you can increase and make it bigger. I hope that is working because that is all I can do. So sorry about that. I'm not a tech person. Okay. Yeah. All right. So forgive me if I'm not doing it the better way. All right. So we are going to learn this from this text called Gyu Lama. Gyu Lama in English is called Higher Line. In Sanskrit, Uttara Tantra, which is not a tantra. So these are the book that we are going to learn from, where Asanga, he received from his teacher, Jetsun Jampa, Akam Maitreya. Maitreya is called Jetsun Jampa. And these are the 6 steps that show us the process through which we perpetuate samsara. We perpetuate suffering. Okay, so I won't talk about Asanga is the same as, sorry, I won't talk about Master Asanga, his story. He's a half-brother of Vasubandhu, which we mentioned before in the in the first chapter, first class, where we talk about Abhidhamma Kosha. So we won't talk about his story, okay? So this book, Asanga, he actually went and studied with Maitreya. And Maitreya is said to be the next Buddha, the next coming Buddha, the 5th Buddha in line. So we have the karma to could be his student. So you have to collect a lot of goodness, that if we are not enlightened yet, when he comes, we can be his direct disciples. Okay, Raymond, I see you there. Okay, all of us. Okay, all of us. Then Raymond will be like the Manjushri who asked the question for us, I don't understand this. Can you please explain that? Okay. Yeah. Very interesting. So we have to collect the goodness. If we are not enlightened yet, then may we be, by the time he comes, we would be his direct disciples. And then when maybe he says something, then ding, it just happened, because we have collected so many good seeds in the past life, which is this life, one of them. And then when he says something, ting, it just happened. And then we just see emptiness directly on the spot. Okay. So these are the 6 steps through which we are creating our samsara or suffering. Okay, so step number 1, 6 steps, huh? Step number 1, it is like a domino effect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, you know. So step 1, you're born with the ignorant stained seed. Ignorant stained seed, we are born with that. So I have this ignorant stained seed. What is ignorance here? Misunderstanding, right? We're misunderstanding. There's this word that we need to learn. Dak zin ni ki bakcha. Dak we know is self. Self. Dak is self. Zin is holding. So you're holding on to self. Holding on to self nature. There is some self nature from their own side. Okay? So you're born with this bakcha. Seed we learn is bakcha, right? Okay, the bakcha we learned in the previous class. This bakcha from the previous life, we are born with that. And those bakcha, those seeds are stained with this ignorance of how we are holding on to self. Things have some self nature. Since we are talking about bakcha, I want to answer Aisu's question. Is she here? Aisu is not here. Oh, what a pity. Should I not tell her? Okay. I go and find out about the question that she asked, because I am also struggling that day. I'm not sure whether I should reply or not. And then I thought, maybe I need to look into this again before I reply her. And then I go and study. And by some good, I asked many teachers. Actually, I asked other teachers before previously, and I'm still cooking on that. We say that bakcha is, remember, all existing things, physical, mental, neither physical or mental, right? And we say bakcha is in the neither physical nor mental. Okay, I understand about that. Okay, but why? Okay, so I've been struggling with that. I ask teachers still, I don't get it. But I know because I also asked this question by some goodness. I managed to get a lot of information and data from one kind teacher, you know. And I've been cooking on that. Okay, so I know physical, under the mental we say is mind, isn't it? What is the definition of mind? Can somebody tell me what is the definition of mind? Anybody? I don't have 100 US dollar. But I give you ringgit Malaysia, you might not be happy. So I may as well don't give. But if you come, I meet you, I give you a treat. Okay. Anybody can tell me? No? Really? I tell you what, when I was a student, I didn't know when my teacher say about the definition. I thought, yeah, definition. Actually, I tell you, this is so important. Remember, we go through ACI 4, right? The definition of mind is clear and aware. Clear and aware. It is clear and it's aware. You can have to bring that to your meditation. To me, when I was like, if I don't meditate, don't think about that, yeah, okay, clear and aware. But if you really think about that, clear and aware, what do you mean by clear and aware? Wow. You have a deeper insight on that. The mind is clear and aware. And I've been struggling. The mind is clear and aware. But I also see somewhere else that says that mental function, if you remember, mental functions like anger, feeling, love, concentration, hope, those many other mental functions, they are also mental. So that made me very confused, you know. That made me very confused. If those things like anger, all these things can come under mental, then why Bakchak cannot come under mental? Because Bakchak, you say, is a mental imprint, right? So I've been struggling with that mental imprint. Okay, now I find the answer for you. Ta-da! Okay. Anger is present, is active and present, is actively, directly engaged with the object. And when it is present, it color your main mind and influence behavior. So anger is an actual functioning consciousness. In short, it is active, present, perceiving. Okay? Then what about Bakchak? Bakchak, we say, is a mental imprint, right? It's the energetic potential. It is not active, it is passive. It is latent. Bakchak does not directly engage with the object. It is passive, it is latent, and it is non-manifest. It is a karmic seed, it is non-manifest, it is a potential. So it is under the neither physical nor mental. So cook on that. Yeah, I have very complete information on that. I can send to you, okay, later on. You can cook on that. This is a very, wow, I got this information. I'm so happy I finally see the difference there. Okay, so that is for Aisu. I hope Aisu hear this recording. Okay, so we are born with this Bakchak, which is a neither physical nor mental. Okay. This Bakchak that is stained with this Dakzin Niki Bakchak, which is stained with this self, holding on to self. Raymond, I send you whole complete information on Bakchak. They explain very detailed. Yeah, I think you will love that. You will really love that. Yeah, they explain even more detailed than what I explained. Okay, so so because of this Bakchak, right? Yeah, the next one that leads to the second domino fall will be two tendencies arise from here. The tendency to see things as having some self-nature. Just now we say the first one, you're born with this Bakchak, right? This Bakchak to see things having some self-nature, and with that leads to number two, and therefore you see things as having some self-nature. Me having some self-nature, two things arise. One is me having some self-nature, others having some self-nature. Again, from this Bakchak arise the two tendency, me having some self-nature, others having some self-nature. Okay? And that leads to, because of that, I see Emerald having some self-nature. Okay, I said, awesome. And it's out there. Okay, so this is number three. Okay. You have some self-nature. So I look at that. It's awesome. And it's out there. Okay, so things appear to me nice or not nice and coming from themselves. From there, it's out there, in there, out there, from them. Okay, I repeat again. So I'm born with this Bakchak. When I have a baby, I already carry with me this Bakchak from previous life. And then I start to see me having some self-nature, others having some self-nature. And then when I look at Zen, awesome. And it's out there. Okay. And then if I see something irritating, that is annoying and it's out there. Okay, so the things appear nice or not nice, pleasant or not pleasant, desirable or not desirable, annoying or not annoying, out there. It's coming from them. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, okay? Okay. So number 4. And so with that, because of the misperception, right? Emerald is awesome. I like her. I have this ignorant liking. Oh, that is jerk. That is so bad person. I have this ignorant disliking. Okay, we have this Kashila call that stupid liking and stupid disliking. Means liking something, not knowing where they come from. Disliking something, not knowing where they come from. Doesn't mean that we cannot like something, we cannot dislike something. Of course, I like something nice. Of course, I don't like things that's not nice. Okay. Because of the misperception, I have this ignorant liking and disliking. Oh, I like that. Oh, I don't like this. Ignorantly. And that leads to number 5, because of the emotion of liking or emotion of disliking, ignorant liking, ignorant disliking, I act on that emotion and I collect karma. I act on this emotion of liking. I like it so much. I want to have emerald with me, no matter what. Okay? I'm willing to do something bad to get emerald with me. I want emerald to like me. So I'm willing to do something, whatever it is, to get emerald with me. From there to come to me, to stay with me, to keep her. Or if I have this ignorant disliking, acting on that emotion of ignorant disliking, the class, we always use the example of the yelling colleague or yelling boss in the office. We dare not yell at the boss, right? So let's take the yelling colleague, okay? Yelling colleague. Then we will act on that. We want to yell louder. Or we want to do some strategy. We are thinking of some strategy, how to get rid of this person. So we want to gather all the colleagues to also agree with us how we can get rid of this person or exclude that person, or we don't want to cooperate with that person, or we blame them, we find way to get rid of them, even in a very unkind way. And because of that, acting in the wrong way, we collect the karma. Right? I collect the karma. And if I collect the karma, that the real turn, that perpetuate my suffering. I will see more of the things that I don't like, and then I cannot. What I'm doing is perpetuating my suffering because the more I cannot get what I want. Because of what I do, I cannot get what I want. The more I cannot get what I want. And because of what I do, the more I see more angry people in my life. My action perpetuate my suffering. My action put me back to seeing the same thing again and again, again and again. I will see more and more of the thing that I don't like. I will not get the thing that I want. Perpetuate our samsaric experience. The samsaric experience, not getting what we want. I try to get emerald, right? In a relationship, they say, okay, even though I know Emerald is already in a committed relationship, or I'm already in a committed relationship, by doing that, acting on that, I cannot have a beautiful relationship myself, right? Now, some sort of experience. And in a disliking the yelling boss, because I yell back, then I'll see more and more yelling people around me. Children yelling at me, husband yelling at me, colleague yelling at me, people on the road yelling at me. And you see more and more that kind of condition, that kind of environment, and that kind of habit. And they also perpetuate our samsaric life of existence. At the time of death, if that seed ripen, they throw us into this samsaric life cycle again. Birth, aging, illness, death, forced rebirth. So that is the domino effect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's summarize that. Okay, number 1, I'm born with this bakchak, holding on to self. Okay, the bakchak is stained, or the bakchak is stained with this holding on to self, having some self nature. I'm born with that. And so I've start, number 2, I start to see things as having self nature. I have self nature. I used to have a self nature. Okay, me and others have their own self nature. And so number 3, Aisu is a nice person and it's out there. Okay, she's awesome. It's out there. So they appear to me nice or not nice from their own side. And so, 4, I have this ignorant liking because of my misperception. I have this ignorant liking and ignorant disliking. And acting on this ignorant liking, ignorant disliking, this to number 5. I react in a way that is not so kind, that is wrong, in a wrong way, and collect the karma. And that cycle spin, perpetuate my suffering. For me to see the same thing again, if I'm meeting an angry person, I see more and more angry people. And for something nice, the more I cannot get it. Okay, so I want to go back one by one again. First one, okay, I'm born with this seeds bakchak from the previous life, stained with this ignorance of holding on, the self, having some self-nature. And that leads to 2 tendencies arise. Tendency to see me having some self-nature, others having some self-nature. Okay? And so that leads to me, when I look, awesome, and it's out there. It's in them, from them. Things appear pleasant or unpleasant, and it's from their own side. It's out there. It's in them, from them. How can I prove that is not correct? This is something out. I just want to, since we are talking about number 3, how can I prove that? I can see that this person is so terrible. Yeah. But then, is he a terrible person from his own side, annoying from his own side? No. His mother think that he is a filial son. Yeah, I like that example. Right. And then his wife think that he's a wonderful husband. His son think that he's a great father. His dog thinks that he's a good master, loving master. Right. So he is a annoying quality in him. But then when I was a student, I was struggling with this one. And then I was telling my teacher, but teacher, okay, but each time I'm with this person, I feel I'm with other people, I'm okay, but with this person, I tell you, he's really made me so pissed off, He's really very terrible. So I want to prove to my teacher that it's really in him. Okay? Why other people also say like that, this person also say like that person also say like that, so I want to argue back, so no, it's really in the person, okay. So my teacher had many times tell me, regardless of what is happening, give me many examples. It's not in him, from him, so keep on working with that. But unfortunately, our experience kind of reinforce our misperception, right? Like I say, our experience, right? And when we are with other people, we say, oh, it's okay, everything okay. But with that person, we see this thing happen, right? our experience kind of reinforce our misperception. Or let's give another example. When I'm with Emerald, it feels great. Each time I'm with Emerald, it feels great. So it kind of reinforced my perception that Emerald is a very nice person. Our experience kind of like reinforce our misperception. But why is that wrong? You can stay long enough with Emerald. After a while, you don't like her. Not just kidding. There's this story, have you heard of? They say, if you're in a room with 10 people, right? I always tell then somehow 7 people, you like 7 people, 3 people you don't like. Get rid of the 3 people, left 7 people. Then you're in a room with the 7 people that you like. After a while, you don't like the other 3 people, you only like the 4 people. Okay, so get rid of the other 3 people, left 4 people in the room. Then with the 4 people, stay long enough, you don't like 2 of them. Then left 2 people. Get rid of the other 2, left 2. Then with the 2 people that you have, the 2 friends, you don't like 1 of them, and you get rid of 1 person. They only like 1 person. And with that 1 person, after a while, you don't like that person. You still find some fault with the person. That's it. Where does it come from? Okay. Yeah, it always reminds me. It's not that, yeah, I'm always struggling with that also. Okay. And another example I can give would be, we say, oh, I love to go to the beach. Oh, I love to go to the beach. It's so nice, right? Then you go to the beach. Oh, darling, wow, look at the beach. It's so nice. Oh, it feels so great. If every day I can look at the beach, that will be wonderful. You know, it'll be such a happy life. Then you move, you no need to move. You just stay there long enough. Okay. 1 hour pass. You like the beach. Wow, so nice, so relaxing. 2 hours pass. Wow, so nice. 3 hours pass. You kind of get bored, you know. 4 hours pass. Oh my God. Okay, let's go somewhere. You want to go indoor. Let's get indoor. Let's get somewhere else. Let's go to the shop. Okay. Stay in the shop long enough. Oh, you're going to say, oh, so nice here. You know, the shop, you see, look at the thing, you know, 1 hour plus, pass, you like it. Second hour, you like it. Third hour, you start to get bored. Fourth hour, come, let's go to the beach. So where is it coming from? Yeah. So that is the thing that reminds me when I'm not happy with somebody. I want to go back to the mind only school. Then the picture that helps me to see how am I creating my reality. Okay, so these 3 things. Okay, so I like to draw this picture. This was in my previous class. Okay, this is in the class today. I draw it, I get it done. This was in my previous class with another group of students. So this bakchak, born with this bakchak, to hold on to some self-nature, and that arises a tendency to see things as having some self-nature. I have some self-nature, you have some self-nature, okay? And that lead me to see that, it's awesome, it's out there. It's beautiful and it's out there. Okay, they appear nice or not nice from their own side. And that leads to number 4. It's so nice. I like it. I like that. So you have this ignorant liking. So terrible. You have this ignorant disliking. It's okay to like or not liking. The problem is only when we are willing to do something bad to get it or to avoid it, because we don't know where they come from. So that leads to 5. Because of that emotion, I act or I react on that and collect karma. My natural reaction, if I don't like something, is to push it away, isn't it? It's in them, from them. I want to push it away. I want to get rid of that thing. Okay, I'm willing to do anything to get rid of them. I blame them. I don't want to cooperate. I show my face. my gesture not very kind, I become a little bit more difficult. Okay. And that collect the karma. And that the wheel spin. But leads to number 6. Because we think the problem is with them. We think they are the source of the problem. If I get rid of them, then you'll be fine. Things will be good. From here, I suddenly have one story I want to tell about my son. When he was in secondary school, he really hate this boy. Okay, his classmate, where they go to school together. Me and the parents, we take turn to send. Okay, one send in the morning, one pick them up. So he hate this guy so much. I still remember, And then because that guy, he really liked to he see teachers coming and quickly take the broom and sweep the floor. So my son hate it so much, he like to act like that. When the teacher come quickly sweep the floor, he will act like that one, So my son is so pissed off with him. I keep on telling myself after I learned this, I said, tell you what, son, you must not do anything bad. I know you don't like him, okay? You cannot sabotage his plan, okay? And then if he has very good seats, even you sabotage, he will still be the president, I tell you. And one day, imagine after many years, he becomes so successful, become the minister. Then how they think about what you did, That's it. He said, this is what you did during that time. So I said, no matter what, okay, you must, okay, not sabotage him. You have to support his plan, okay? You do the right thing, okay? You can avoid, you avoid. Cannot avoid, you just do the right thing, okay? You have keep on, every day remind him, every day remind him, Every day, remember, because they have to meet every day. The guy want to follow him every day. He go tuition, he go everywhere. He join this guy, follow that guy, want really piss him off. I said, that is your homework for this life, boy. This is your homework. Okay. So he managed to overcome that. And that boy is I say, you don't need to be jealous of him. He has very good seeds. He will succeed. Okay. And then because he did not sabotage him, thanks God. The last 6 months, my son suddenly got a post to become the president of a club. The teacher appoint him as the president of the club. I say, yay, the CV, we all want to be president. Yeah, they are doing great, but they want to be the top guy, the first top one. So that's it, So I said, you don't sabotage their plan. Okay. Okay, that's the story. It's difficult. It is difficult. You need a lot of reminder, a lot every day to remind ourselves. If not, then our natural reaction is this is what we want to do. We want to be difficult. We want to sabotage. We want to do something. We want to get rid of them. We want to speak bad of them. We want to exclude them. We want to do everything. We want to blame them. Okay? We want to be harsh to them. And that is the next one. Oh yeah, and because of that, okay, I finished one. I pick one more piece. He became the president, and because that student is even more outstanding than him, but my son is the one who got the government scholarship JPA to study in France for 6 years, sponsored by the government. So, I rejoice. I say, see that? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you have to in your mind, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, now. Then what is 4? What is 1? What is 6? What is 2? Understand? You have to do like that in your mind. Can you do that? So I need picture to help me to remember that. So I have this picture. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I got it. Fine. Then 4, 5, 6. That's how you get it. Okay, you can 1, 2, 3, 4 something after you forget. Okay, when I say 2, oh, there's a tendency. You want me to test you? Very fast. Okay. Okay. You tell me the number. You tell me the number, it will be easier. You can just type in the chat or you can just show your finger. Okay, ready? Okay, ignorant, liking, and disliking. Yeah. Okay. Must be fast, fast, fast. If you don't have, never mind, just practice. Okay. That's very good. Tendency to see things as self-nature. I have my self-nature. You have your self-nature. It's two. Ta-da. Okay. Core, samsara, the wheel spin, the cycle spin. Yay! Correct. It's awesome and it's out there. Yes. Yes, correct. 3. Okay. The seed, the bakcha. Yes, the bakcha. Start with the bakcha. How the bakcha is formed? Remember we said in the last class, we have the perception of seeing ourselves, what we do, say, and think, and when the action come to the conclusion, the energy stay in the mind, and the bakcha is formed. Okay? I yell back. I yell back. I go and get it. Which one is that? Which number? I yell back. Yes. Correct. 5. Okay, you have to practice that in your mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then keep on doing that in your what meditation is that? We learn ACI 3. Review meditation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Understand? After a while, you're okay already. Then you go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Review meditation. Then you jump. What is 2? What is 4? What is 1? What is 6? What is 3? Jump like that. Okay. Cannot. Then the thing only can go in. And then try to apply in your life. One example, like when you look at something, how I am creating my own suffering. How in that way. Yeah. This is very these 6 steps is a very useful, practical way that we can use in our life. I find it's very, very useful. Okay, now the question for you would be question number 1 in your... Okay, before that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now tell me, this is how I'm creating my suffering. How can I stop that? 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At which point I can stop the suffering? I can do, at which point I can stop perpetuating my suffering? At which point? You want to guess? Let me see. 555. Laura and Daniel said 3. Any other number? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where can I break that cycle? It is number 5. Number 5. Yeah. Number 5. Okay, knowing that, okay, the yelling boss, okay, I don't like the yelling boss, but I hold back. Even for 10 seconds, or you go away. Then you stop putting another bakchak in your mind. Okay, the lousy bakchak. 5. The yelling boss yell. Number 4, I don't like it. Number 5, I want to get. Number 5, I don't act on that. I just get away. I just go somewhere else. Okay, I just go and listen to some songs. Okay, go and look at the beach. After some time, you feel that you're not that angry after all. Okay, but at that moment when you're angry, you want to yell back, you want to do something. Okay, so 5 is where we can break the cycle. It's not that easy. The more we practice, the faster we catch ourselves. I remember when I first learned all these things, it took me a long, long time, I act already for a long time, so I don't know. Then you have to recall back then, oh yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Then the more you practice through the 6-time book, some of you are doing the 3 times book, that helps you to be more and more mindful of our own behavior. Okay, the 3 times book Laura and Daniel doing, Jackney is doing, and I don't know who else, if I miss out your name, please let me know. Hold back. Hold back. Yeah, how to hold back? Many ways. So you ask yourself, what works for you? What works for you? There's no one answer. What works for you? For me, I get away. My style is I don't like confrontation. Okay. Sometimes it's too much. I don't know whether is it too much. I want to cook on that. When things unpleasant or things I know it's coming from me, I'm working my karma. And I don't want to, I don't want that. I can give up a lot of things. I find that I have less attachment. Yeah, a lot of things I don't really mind, Yeah. I will always, for me, I think it's a good thing, 50-50, right? Okay, so get away first and work on the karma. Get away and then work with the karma. And then as time goes by, for me, that's how it worked for me. So you have to ask yourself, what works for you? Then I like to take refuge. Taking refuge reinforce my understanding of karma and emptiness and help to tone down what I don't like at this moment and remind me karma and emptiness that right now is a tree, but it's changing moment by moment. It's from my past is ripening. Right now, this is how I conceptualize it. Okay. Yeah, if I just act with kindness, I just do the right thing, things will shift. Okay. Things like that. So I think having the vow is so important because the vow is like the guidelines, what we should do. So if I follow my natural instinct, I want to fight back. Okay, right? I'm not happy now, right? But if I follow the vow kind of like the GPS, you drive, they got the GPS, right? It shows me, if I do this, this is what the enlightened being do. Okay, if I do that, I can reach there also. Yeah. And then you find that your things that you're not happy about, it kind of like get not so strong. It get not so tight, not so tight. And after that, it's okay. Yay, Laura. Then you said holiday. Yeah. Make yourself happy. I like to go for massage. Okay. I'm not happy. I'm tired, exhausted. I like to go for massage. Massage make me very happy. Okay. I like massage so much. Last time I go facial a lot. I think I go too much facial. Now I change to massage. I remember I just went to a newly opened massage center. They put up Mr. Bean. Oh my God. I watch it now and I keep on laughing. I don't know what they are doing to my leg, you see, foot reflexology. I want to check them out whether they're okay or not, but I kind of like just watch, so enjoy so much. I see it's so competitive. They even serve you with the red bean soup. They serve you with the tea. They let you watch Mr. Bean, kind of like that, I never experienced that. So do something that makes you feel happy, to get away and make you feel happy. You can listen to the song. Okay. You can remember your holy guide and your holy guide. What my holy guide want me to do in that situation. What my father want me to do. Your holy father want you to do, or your holy mother want you to do. Okay. Remember your bodhisattva? Say those have taken bodhisattva vows. You are the son and the daughter of the Buddha, So what they say, don't disgrace the family, things like that. You remember we learned in ACI too, right? What would you as a daughter, as a son would do in that situation? I ask for ask for blessing, ask for the strength to do the right thing. It's not easy. And I find that the more I improve, the challenge has become even more great. I said, oh, I'm now like playing the game. You play games, right? Then when you kind of like win, then you go to level 2. Then go to level 3. It become more and more challenging, you know. So I find myself in that situation. Oh, now it's getting harder. My situation even more challenging now. That kind of challenging situation, like if you, okay, forget about that, my story, okay? So that's it. Look at it that way. I like to look at it like a game. Aha, okay. Wow, really? Laura and Daniel used to give massage and facial for 10 years. Wow, I like facial and massage so much. Woohoo. Do you do that as a business? Yeah? Is that your business? Yes? Ooh, yeah. That is so great. Wow, I love that so much. I want a friend like that. Okay. Yeah. All right, so that's it. Okay, let me see. Did I miss out anything? Okay. Just now we say 5 is the one where we can break the cycle by holding back in the sense that we don't put in another bakchak. But ultimately is to stop the number 1, which is to break the cycle is to listen to the pen story 3,000 times. Actually, is to see emptiness directly. Okay. But that seems to be very, 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 very far. So go and listen to the pen story 3,000 times. Study, study, study in the ACI. Contemplate, contemplate, contemplate in the ACI. Meditate, meditate, meditate in what you learn. Keep your vow. Put into practice. Okay, I like to see the people as the barometer of my practice. You know, Atisha's story, you keep somebody annoying, then you know where you are. In my life, I'm keeping somebody very annoying, very close to me, the most annoying person. And you keep them very, very, very close to you. Live with you, stay with you all the time. And that is where thanks them for helping me to practice. Without them, you cannot practice. You cannot play the ball alone. Okay, you need somebody else to play the ball with you. Okay, and this is in your question number 1, okay? So there are 2, for today's class, there are 2 parts. This is the first part that we learn. Okay, this is what we already mentioned just now, the 6 steps. Okay, this is in your question number 1. Now we are ready to go into the second part, the 6 steps finish. We go for the something different. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, we are going to learn this thing called water analysis. Chun bak. Chu normally means existing things, right? All existing things, but in this situation, it means water. Okay. According to my teacher, it's read as chun bak. That kind of like there's a nasal, the pronunciation. So chun bak. We are going to study this thing, chun bak, which is about the source of this coming from the Entering the Middle Way by Master Chandrakirti. Entering the Middle Way by Master Chandrakirti, 650 AD. This is the main text used to study the higher middle way in the monastery. Let me write down his name. Chandrakirti. The text that we use is Entering the middle way. His year is 650 AD. And this is a text that is used in the monastery when they study the higher middle way. So it's a very, very important one. This Chunbak is also the scriptural authority that Geshe Michael used in his pen story. In the pen story that we heard is based on this Chunbak. Okay, so in this Chunbak, we have some characters. We have a human, we have a pleasure being, we have a hungry ghost. I'm a human. I think you're also human, right? Or maybe you're pleasure being. Yeah. And then you have this pleasure being. Pleasure being is, if you look at the wheel of life as a wheel of life, they're on the higher realm. They're on the upper realm, higher realm, okay? They're on the higher realm. The pleasure being, they say that they have a lot of good seeds. They meditate a lot into deep meditation. So while meditating, they are not doing anything bad to hurt people, right? So they collect a lot of goodness. And if that seeds ripen at the point of death, that seeds throw them into this realm, the pleasure being realm, where everything is pleasant, pleasure. That's why they're called pleasure being. Everything is so nice. And then they say when they die, the seeds, they use up so many good seeds that they end up in the three lower realm. They end up not as a human, but below that three lower realm, which is shocking to me, okay? Which is very shocking to me. And then the hungry ghost. Hungry ghost, in my culture, we have hungry ghosts. I'm not sure about Daniel and Laura. Do you have hungry ghosts in your culture? Yes. Oh, you also have hungry ghosts. Okay, interesting. We just, in our Chinese calendar, the 7 lunar months is a hungry ghost month. That just, we just finished that month, I think about 11 days ago, right? So now we are safe to go out at night. I'm just kidding. Okay, hungry ghosts. So hungry ghosts, how they become a hungry ghost? They say they have these seeds, the seeds of very, very stingy, don't want to share, very attached to things, don't want to share. Then very very pride. And then the seeds of doing the top 10 non-virtue that we have just learned, top 10 non-virtue in a moderate level of severity, medium level of severity. And if those seeds ripen at the time of death, that throw the being into hungry ghost realm, where their needs cannot be met. They cannot get their needs met. The nature is such that they cannot get their needs met. So for the hungry ghosts, they have different variety. Some of the hungry ghosts, they kind of like, they see water, they cannot get food and drinks, they're always hungry, right? That's why they're called hungry ghosts. From far away, they see water. And then when they run, when they get to that place, there's no water. It's like a mirage. And then they see somewhere else got water. Oh, they run over there. And when they reach there, there's no water. And they get exhausted. So they cannot get water, cannot get food and drinks. And some variety, they might have the karma. They have the karma to get some food and drinks, some drinks, and but their mouth is so small, their mouth is so tiny, but their stomach is so big. So the thing cannot go inside. So little food, so little water, so little tiny thing can go in. They cannot get satisfied. They cannot get, because the tummy is very big, but the mouth is very small. And some of the variety will be, they can get the food into their, they can eat, can drink, but when the food go into their throat, go into their stomach, it kind of burn them. They have this burning, it burn them. So that is a hungry ghost. So there are three characters here: human, pleasure being, hungry ghost. Wow. Okay. Thanks for sharing that, Laura. Interesting. Great. Wow. Okay. Good to hear that. I don't know what is this Theta healing technique, but it will be nice if we can hear more from you in the future. And so these three characters. And okay, let's look at me as a human. Okay. And then you have this thing here, if you can see the stuff, wet and flowing, wet and flowing. We have learned this word called material cause. Material cause is the thing that Ngelen Gigu, remember Ngelen Gigu, we learned in ACI 4, is the thing that flop over, ran up, and turn into the result. So this wet and flowing, this stuff, me as a human, look at this thing, wet and flowing. This wet and flowing is the material cause that flop over, okay, and turn in and flop over and turn into 100% water for me as a human, based on my karma, which is the contributing factor. So the karma in my mind is the contributing factor. The karma is on mind is the contributing factor that forced me to perceive this wet and flowing as 100% water, as water. For me, unique for me. And then for the pleasure being, they have the karma, which is the contributing factor that forced them to perceive this wet and flowing as nectar, something nice. And you have these hungry ghosts who have the karma in their mind. Okay. The karma in their mind is the contributing factor that forced them to see this wet and flowing as pus and blood. As pus and blood. If they can get it, is pus and blood for them. Okay, so what if now there are three of these beings? If there are three of these beings, all of them now looking at this thing wet and flowing. If they are, the three beings are looking at this stuff now, this stuff, they say got three parts. There are three parts. Because there are three beings here, so there are three parts. If there are only two beings, then there are two parts. If there is one being, there is one part. If there is no being, no part. It's empty. Not that there's nothing, but it's empty and available. So this wet and flowing, this is the base object. I write down here, base object. This is the base object now. Wet and flowing, base object with the three parts. There are three parts. Okay. Why three parts? Because there are three beings looking at it. So now, the human, me, when I look at this base object, this thing, my karma, which is the contributing factor, will force me to see the parts that I see forced by my karma, the parts that flop over and turn into the karmic results, 100% water for me. And the pleasure being, next the pleasure being, when they're looking at this thing, the karma in their mind is the contributing factor that force them to see the parts that they see. The parts that they see is forced by their karma, and that part turn and flop into 100% nectar for them, unique to them. And then these hungry ghosts, the karma in their mind is the contributing factor that force them to see the parts that they see based on their karma, that part that flop over and turn into the karmic result, 100% pass for them, unique to them. Okay, so the contributing factor is the karma in their mind. It's their karma that force them to experience them, to perceive it. Water for the human, nectar for the pleasure being, pus and blood for the hungry ghost. Now I want to ask you, is the thing, water, nectar, and pus in this base object? Is it in it? From it? We say no. We say no. Why is no? If it is, then it cannot be water for the human, nectar for the pleasure being, pus for the hungry ghost. If it is water for the human, nectar for the pleasure being, pus for the hungry ghost, that means the identity is not in the base object. Correct? It means that the identity depends on the perceiver, who is perceiving it. The identity depends on the being perceiving it, depends on the karma in their mind. They are empty. The thing here is empty. Wet and flowing is empty. And therefore, they can be water for the human, nectar for the pleasure being, pus for the hungry ghost. Okay, now, I said just now, we say that the karma of the human, okay, right now, force them to see the parts. Okay, for the parts, those parts come from where? That turn into water for the human. Where the part come from? Then the pleasure being have the karma, which is a contributing factor that force them to see the parts that flop into the nectar. And the hungry ghosts, they have the karma in their mind that force them to see the parts that flop over into the past. Where the parts come from? Is it in the object? Yes or no? Is the part from the object? Yes, for Yes, I should say come from the, not from the object, from the mind, from the karma of the being, their karmic ripening. It is the karmic ripening of the being to see the parts that they see forced by their karma. And why they make that part? Why the human see this part, the pleasure being see this part, and hungry ghost see this part? Why they see that kind of part? What make them to see that kind of part? What make them to see that part? I should say is the bakcha. It's the 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We make the parts. Okay, now we want to look at the question already to help us to understand better. Okay, so question 2. Can somebody read question number 2? Anybody can help?
I can read.
Hmm.
When three different types of beings sit down together and look at a glass full of liquid, they see the different things. Does this mean that nothing at all is one way or the other?
Thank you, Zane. Nothing is one way or the other from their own side. The keyword is from their own side. Nothing is one way or the other from their own side. But the thing can be one way or another based on our karma, forced by our karma to perceive it that way. Does that help? Is it clear? They're asking us, these three beings, isn't it? This one see this one see another thing, this one human see water, pleasure being see nectar, hungry ghost see pus and blood. So does that mean that nothing is one way or the other? Nothing is one way or another from their own side. It's not from their own side, the keyword. They are not one way or another from their own side, but they can be, they can be one way or another, okay, based on their karma. Based on their karma, force them to perceive it that way. Okay, all good? Okay, good. Next question, question 3. Can somebody try to read this?
Okay, I'll read. Is it possible that the three beings have three perceptions which are all valid and yet draw contradictory conclusions about a single object? Thank you.
Thank you, Jesslyn. Are they all having valid perception? Yes, they all have a valid perception. Okay, but we have to be very careful on that. In fact, okay, before that, I ask you this question. The human validly perceiving water as water. The craving spirit validly perceiving water as pus. The pleasure being validly perceiving water as nectar. Is this statement correct? The way I phrase it, correct or not? Correct, you say 1, not correct, put 0. The statement that I write. What about Laura and Daniel? Oh, nobody want to say it's not correct? Nobody want to say it's not correct? It is not correct. Let me tell you it's not correct. You tell me which part is not correct. No. You know which part is the wrong one from the phrase here, the statement here? Yes, Zane is correct. Yeah. We cannot say perceiving water. When you say perceiving water, means that it's coming from their own side, right? They validly perceive the parts. Remember, there are 3 parts. They perceive the parts based on their karma. Okay. They validly perceive the parts based on their circumstances. The parts are not coming from the thing. The parts are coming from their karmic ripening. The parts are coming from their karmic ripening. Okay, so the water is not perceiving the water. What are they perceiving? They are perceiving the parts of this base object, this wet and flowing. They are perceiving the parts of this wet and flowing. This wet and flowing, this thing, this liquid, yeah? It is not water yet. It is only water for human. If we say they're perceiving water, we are trying to say that, oh, it is water, but they see it wrongly. I'm correct, okay? They see it wrongly. But they have valid perception. What they are perceiving is completely valid based on their circumstances, based on their karma. Okay? For them to see the parts, there are 3 parts here of this base object. They validly perceive the parts forced upon them by their karma, the parts that they see that turn into water for the human. Completely valid. And the pleasure beings, they validly perceive the parts of this base object forced by their karma. Okay? The parts that turn into nectar, 100% nectar, completely valid and unique to the pleasure being. And the hungry ghosts, they validly perceive the parts of this base object, wet and flowing, the parts that they see based on their karma, the parts that they see forced by their karma, the parts that turn into 100% pus and blood for the hungry ghosts. Okay, that is the question 4. Question 3, just now that was question 3, now question 4. Is there anybody want to read question 4?
Describe how the consequence section of the middle way school explain what is happening in this case, using their concept of 3 parts, 3 material causes, and 3 contributing factors.
Thank you, Laura. Really appreciate that. Okay. So the consequence section of the middle way school is the higher middle way, the higher school, Prasangika, Madhyamika. So they ask us to explain using the concept of the three parts that we heard just now, three material causes and three contributing factors. So the three objects that the three beings perceive, past, water, or nectar, can be described initially as the three parts of the base object. Remember we say the base object, wet and flowing, there are three parts because there are three beings looking at it. And this liquid provide the material cause. What is material cause? The thing that turn the flop over into the result. The three different kinds of karma in the minds of the three different beings are forcing them to see. The karma in the mind force them to see the parts of the base object in the way that they see, okay? And their karma in their mind is the contributing factor, okay? I want to highlight one word. Their karma is the contributing factor that force them to see the parts the way they see. And the parts that they see is a karmic ripening in their mind. Okay? That is the key word. I was struggling with this story for a long time, you know. I understand it generally, but I don't understand why the three parts. And finally, I see the keyword is on that part. Just now I just mentioned that one. That is the thing that made me suddenly, ding, I got it. Okay, so this is what they ask us to explain. Okay, basically they say, okay, this, come back to this one, what is it? Okay, the three parts of the base object. This is the base object. There are three parts. Why three parts? Because there are three beings perceiving it. Okay, three beings perceiving it. And then we know that this is the base object is the material cause we learn in ACI 4, the thing that flop over, that turn over into the karmic results. And then what makes them turn over in that way? The karma. The karma in the mind of the human is the contributing factor that force them to see the parts. There are the parts on this base object, to see the parts the way they see it, the way they do, the parts that turn into water, 100% water for the human. That is a keyword. Where the parts come from? From their karmic ripening in their mind, the karmic ripening for them to see the parts the way they see it. Okay, and let's look at question 5. Okay. Question 5. Emerald, can you read question 5?
Yes. What happens to the three parts when, for example, a craving spirit tries to drink from the glass?
Okay, thank you. When the craving spirit, they try to drink, then the wet and flowing, the thing wet and flowing, become 100% pus and blood for them, unique to them, exclusively. They alone is experiencing. Okay, so you can look at this picture again. So when this craving spirit try to drink, when they try to drink, then this wet and flowing, this thing become 100% pus for them, unique to them, exclusively, that they experience this pus and blood due to the karma in their mind. And then the last one, question 6. Anybody want to read? The last chance, auction. This one must be at a very high price. Last question already. Any takers?
Okay,
Okay, number
okay,
6.
great. Go ahead.
Are the pus and blood that the craving spirits see in the cup actual pus and blood? Why or why not?
Thanks, Aisu. This is a very good question that I'm still struggling. People like me, so kewo, who have not seen emptiness directly, is sometimes struggling, sometimes understand, sometimes so slippery, sometimes you cannot understand, like the mind only school, how can that be actual pus and blood? How can that be? We say, oh, it is my projection. Oh, it is my perception. Oh, it's just perception. It is not real. It is real because it is your perception. It is real because it is coming from your karma. It is real because it is coming from your perception, and that makes it real, and that makes it actual, and that function, and that work because it's a projection force or the perception forced by your karma. The projection the perception doesn't make it unreal. It is real because it's empty, and therefore it can work that way, and therefore you can perceive it that way. So we're always struggling with that. I say, oh, it's a perception. Remember the story? I like to remind myself. Okay, if you and don't say me lah. Okay, you stand in front of if the person stand in front of the car, they have a perception of being hit by the car, and then they have a perception of a broken leg, and then they have a perception of being sent to the hospital. They have a perception of being treated by the doctor, a perception of a huge bill. That is perception. Is that real? Yes, because it's a perception forced upon you by your karma, and that makes it real. Because it's empty, and therefore they can work in that way. I summarize this on my own. Things exist because they are empty. Okay, they have no nature of their own. They're empty. They can exist because they're empty. The fact that they're empty means that they can exist through your karma, and that make them actual. That make them real. So kewo like me, we are struggling with that. Just because the thing is empty doesn't mean that they are not actual thing. Just because it's my perception doesn't mean it's not real. It's actually, back pain. I have an actual pain. Yeah. Okay. And J. Tsongkhapa in the Three Principal Paths say, if you understand that thing being empty is what make them real, then you understand karma and emptiness. That ends our class. Before that, remember I said the parts is the key thing, right? The karma in the mind of the being will force them to see the parts not from the object. The parts are coming from me. My karma forced me to see the parts the way I do, right? That turns into hand for me. And if I have better karma, this could be a Buddha's body. It could be a Buddha's body. And we can be in a Buddha's paradise. Because it's coming out of karma, forced upon us. To have that perception, I see a different parts. And therefore, they always say, I don't know, they always say Buddha paradise is inevitable, it's possible. You will reach there because it's coming from you. Okay. So let's rejoice first. Okay. Remember, Maitreya will come and then we will be, all of us will be enlightened. Okay, I have a few things here that I take from the reading. I can post it in the Telegram chat later. You can read later. Okay, and I want to end it with the dedication. Okay, let's end it with the dedication. Okay, So let's close your eyes and be very, very happy with yourself that you're here. An extraordinary goodness, so rare and precious, one in a countless and countless and countless of millions of, I don't know, it's uncountable. Such a rare and precious opportunity for us here to collect this extraordinary goodness that will transform our life, transform and make that Buddha paradise. And so be very happy with yourself. And imagine you can hold this goodness like a beautiful gemstone in your hand and offer that, recall your holy guides, and see how happy they are with you. Offer them this gemstone of goodness and see how happy they are, and they accept it, they bless it, and they carry it back into your heart. Feel it there in your heart. Feels so good that we want to keep it, so we give it away. By the power of the goodness that we have just done, may all beings complete the collection of merit and wisdom, and thus gain the two ultimate bodies that merit and wisdom make. Use 3 long exhale, 1 to send to the one person you want to help at the beginning of the class. 2 to send to everyone you love. 3 to send to all sentient beings in the universe, wherever they are. And may this goodness free us, liberate us from this cycle of suffering, and for us to reach this ultimate happiness. Okay. Bring your mind back here. You're ready. And thank you for the recording, Miss